And you just sit right here.
At her home in Lynchburg, Virginia, 3-year-old Edie Gilger is more familiar with a doctor's bag than any kid should be.
What are you doing first? Ooh, what's that?
It says a stethoscope.
At 6 months old, doctors said she had cancer.
There we go.
They ran these tests and came out and told you what?
Yeah.
That she had stage 4 neuroblastoma. And of course, we had no clue what neuroblastoma was. I mean, we didn't even know at that point that it was a cancer.
For her parents, Nick and Emily, it was bad news to be sure.
So I'm diagnosis.
But Edie's still here, and she owes that to advanced research and, in a small way, to another little girl with the same disease, whom she'll never meet.
It's hard to explain.
Alex Scott was diagnosed just shy of her first birthday. We first met Alex and her parents, Liz and Jay, in the summer of 2003.
Can you sum up what it's been like these past 6 years?
Not quickly.
For Alex, none of the standard treatments, like chemotherapy, worked for very long. So, like most childhood cancer patients in this country, she was given experimental treatments to keep her alive. Even as a kid, Alex knew that all those clinical trials cost real money, so she told her parents she wanted to open a lemonade stand on her front lawn, with the money going to finding a cure. On her first day, she raised $2,000.
Why did you decide to do this lemonade stand?
Because I wanted to help raise money for cancer research.
Why is that important to you?
Because it's helping people.
As her story got out, Alex's stand became an annual event in her Philadelphia neighborhood and beyond. By the summer of 2004, Alex and her friends across the country had raised close to $1 million. But even as the money poured in, Alex herself was running out of time. For Liz Scott, it's as painful now as it was then.
It became very hard to see treatment after treatment fail and to have her cancer spreading to places that we knew there was no turning back.
On the first day of August 2004, Alex Scott died. She was 8 years old. Her parents vowed not to let her dream of finding a cure die with her.
You want some lemonade? Can we interest you in some lemonade for Alex's lemonade stand?
Alex Scott's Little Lemonade Stand has become the Alex's Lemonade Stand Foundation, having now raised more than $70 million. I've continued to follow the Alex's Lemonade story over the years and volunteer at their annual fundraiser. So far, Alex's foundation has helped pay for nearly 300 cancer studies, some of them here at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia.
But there was an aha moment.
One of Alex's doctors, Yael Mose, and her team studied a link between cancer and a hereditary genetic mutation in a gene called anaplastic lymphoma kinase, or ALK. This mutated ALK gene seems to make certain types of cancer grow.
So we kind of had a hypothesis in the lab that if we could turn it off, it may turn off the growth of the cancer. It's like the fuel for the cancer.
And this can sometimes turn off that mutated ALK gene. It's called crizotinib, a drug already used to successfully treat lung cancer in adults. Mose says that drug therapies like crizotinib only go after very specific types of cancer and can do a lot of good for small groups of patients.
We have to be smarter than just giving drugs that kill rapidly dividing cells. We have to give drugs that are turning off something that's driving the cancer.
So, using money from Alex's Lemonade Stand and other sources, doctors were able to fast-track a federally funded crizotinib trial for nearly 80 children.
And the younger kids have tolerated it really beautifully.
With few side effects?
Very few side effects.
And what happened?
We saw some pretty dramatic responses in children who have lymphoma that's driven by this gene ALK.
When you say dramatic response, what do you mean?
We saw the cancer go away within days and weeks.
You saw the cancer go away?
Go away completely.
It didn't help everyone, but for one group with a very specific type of lymphoma, it made a big difference. One of them was Zach Witt of Berks County, Pennsylvania, who at age 6 was fighting for his life. But after only a few days on crizotinib, Zach got out of his hospital bed to the amazement of his parents, Pam and John.
We came home within a few days of that, and he got out of the car and got on his bike and started riding his bike. And we just stood at the car and cried. Like, wow. Wow.
Now, 2 years later, Zach is still on the drug and as active as any other kid his age.
He really is a walking miracle.
But miracle is an awfully big word.
For children with this rare form of lymphoma, it's really quite remarkable.
Dr. Peter Adamson heads up the Children's Oncology Group.
Is crizotinib a cure?
Not yet. I think crizotinib, we hope, when added to other treatments, may become a cure, but right now it is a promising treatment for a small number of children with certain cancers.
So I listen to your heartbeat.
And that brings us back to Edie Gilger. After 14 rounds of chemotherapy, Edie's tumor was still growing. And when doctors suggested crizotinib, her parents figured they had nothing to lose.
What did you expect?
I expected it not to work.
Nothing
The
had
chemo
worked.
didn't work. The surgeries didn't work. So I was just sort of like, all right, well, we'll try it. I'll give anything a shot for 3 months.
After only 4 weeks on the crizotinib trial, they gave Edie a routine scan to see if her tumor responded and got what might have been the shock of their lives.
The radiologist called me and said that her surgery was a success and the tumor's all gone. And I said to the radiologist, she didn't have surgery. We looked at the pictures again and again, and it became very clear that there was no tumor that we could see.
You double-checked.
We double, triple, quadruple checked.
It is an absolute miracle. No other way to put it.
Again, it wouldn't be a miracle for everyone. Only a small number of patients with Edie's form of cancer responded this well. But for her, it's made all the difference.
Oh, here's the I was looking for it.
She takes crizotinib twice a day.
Come here, babe.
And doesn't seem to mind all the syringes.
6.
Still, it's impossible for the Gilgers or any of the other parents in the study to know if the cancer is gone for good.
Now go get 2 M&Ms.
If the cancer comes back in these cases, does that mean the treatment was a failure?
We don't want to oversell a new treatment, put false hope out there. But every parent who has a child with cancer understands what they're up against. And so when there is reason for hope, hope is very powerful, and we shouldn't stand in its way.
There are new, more promising cancer treatments all the time.
What does it taste like when you take your medicine?
Yucky.
Yucky.
But what makes this story special is that one little girl's life has been touched by another little girl who knew how important it was to have just one more day.
Mommy, can we go in the sprinkler?
I thought it was incredible. I just felt like it made Alex's life make a little more sense.
She'll be coming.
The Gilgers say they'll tell Edie all about Alex Scott someday. They hope it'll be something she can share with her grandchildren.
Coming.
What's she gonna be wearing?
She'll be riding 6 white horses when she comes. She'll be riding